Okay. All right, that was a quick little clip of our friend Ben Hall's newest movie, Night and Today. Ben, your director, buddy boy, how's it going?
It's going good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. So we had you on a few months ago, and you're on again. And your movie, Night and Today, is now on Amazon Prime. You're now 2 for 2 on Amazon Prime, which is
Two
kind of
for
cool.
two.
I don't know anybody else like that. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So how does it feel? It's on Amazon Prime. It's out. People can go watch it Night and Today. Allie and I watched it a few months ago, or about a month ago, because you gave us the cool little link to go watch it, and
Right.
it's very timely, man. It's very timely. So what's I know I asked you like 7 questions in one, but like what's your feel right now? Like it's out there for the world to see. How are you feeling about it?
It's a big relief. I mean, every time you make a movie, it is truly a small miracle to get it, to even get it to started, and then definitely to finish it. And we made the picture on about $75,000, which is like very low for a feature film, very very low. And so every step of the way, there was a lot of issues, just trying to figure out the manpower and just getting people involved and pushing it through in an efficient way. And shortly after we finished the movie, well, about 6 months after we finished it, we were pushing it towards film festivals, and we were waiting to hear if we were accepted, and then COVID-19 hit.
Boom.
So totally rerouted our movie, but in a very strange, interesting way. The movie's thematic elements very heavily mirror what our society globally and definitely nationally has been going through. It has elements of quarantine, of illness, paranoia, and just global instability. And, when I wrote the film, I very much put those things in there intentionally to kind of comment on just like the instability that we've been seeing over the past couple of years all around the world. But I never thought it would very literally now kind of come into play. I mean, you can pretty much swap out the nuclear attack for a pandemic, and it's almost the same thing. So
I know it's so timely. I mean, COVID wasn't a thing when you were writing it, yet alone filming it. And then now it's so relatable to everybody that might watch it. It's like, oh, this is a movie about a couple that's quarantined. We're quarantined right now, or we were a few months ago. So that's perfect timing.
Yeah, it's weird when the pandemic hit. Both my director of photography and editor on the same day texted me, and they said, "Ben, this is if you got to get this movie released now." And I was like, I don't know. It's like, we were going for festivals. Maybe we should wait. It's just like, does anyone really want to watch this right now? And then it really clicked about a day later. I was like, oh my gosh, they're right. I mean, this is just so relevant. And so from that point on, basically the week after the pandemic hit, I talked to my producers and was like, we've got to release this as soon as possible. So we rerouted and just went ahead and pushed towards distribution, and thankfully we got it.
That's so cool, man. So I went on Amazon today and I searched for it. And it's so cool because when you search for it, it goes Night and Today is the first option. Then Night and Today, Ben Hall is the second option. I'm like, I know him. He's on Amazon again.
Nice. That's awesome. Good,
so if people want to watch it, it's on Amazon Prime. They can go rent it. They can go buy it. What would you persuade them to do? Like, they just watch it, review it, or what? What's the whole deal?
Sure. Whatever your preference, buy or rent, either one is fine with me. My biggest request is that anyone who checks it out to please rate and review it. It just helps us get more viewership. Even if you hate the movie, be honest. Go ahead and tell us why you hate it. But we want to get as many reviews as possible to kind of keep the visibility going. We're doing as big of a marketing campaign as we can right now, just to try to make people aware of the picture. And also too, if you like the movie, check out my first film, The Man from Outer Space. It's also on Amazon. It has a pretty good visibility at this point since it's been out for nearly 3 years. And it's a very different kind of film. It's a lot more lighthearted than Night and Day. So
it is. It's a lot more lighthearted. I mean, Night and Day it's thought-provoking. It's suspenseful. I never thought you would direct a suspenseful movie because growing up, I mean, our favorite movie was Caddyshack and Dumb and Dumber. So for you to make a suspenseful movie, I was like, shoot, man. All right. It's about like John Krasinski because you're hilarious like John Krasinski, and then he made A Quiet Place. So it's kind of like that.
Right. Yeah, it is actually always. Yeah, no, my mom has even said, one time she asked me, she's like, as nice and funny as you are, I thought you'd make more comedies.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's how I am personally. But the stories that I'm interested in want to tell, usually have a little bit more, definitely more depth and sometimes more edge like this one, because I like to think of myself as a idealist realist. Like I want to like really propel, ideals in what I'm saying in my movies, but at the same time, I want to be very real. Like the world is incredibly broken, and more now than ever. So.
Yeah, no, exactly, dude. I love it. No, it's a great movie. Love
Thank
it.
you.
So you've directed. This is your second movie that you've directed while you're out in LA. Of course, you made a bunch in middle school and high school, a bunch in college. From this one, I'd say this is maybe like your the biggest movie you've made right now up to this point in your career. Is that right?
Yes.
So what would you say is like the biggest lesson you've learned from making this movie? I mean, what would that be? I know you probably went through a lot of stuff filming it, working with cast, working with crew, editing it and everything. So what do you say? Besides, I know you're feeling on red cameras. I know that was something that you told me about, like you're like, they're crazy. So what was your biggest lesson from making this movie?
Yeah. So I think my biggest lesson is that, you really, on every single detail matters. Every single detail, from the production assistant, who's the lowest of the low, to your producers. Like everybody matters. Every job matters. And if there's any gaps in communication, if there's any just lack of oversight, things hit the fan. And I saw that on my first film, but I saw it more on this one because it was bigger. Our time frames were much tighter. So going into my next film, I'm going for a lot more money, and a lot more just oversight, because it's just, you get stretched thin when you do these micro budget films. I get stretched in, my entire crew, and my entire crew is fantastic. Like they are the top of their game, some of the best people in Hollywood, in my opinion. But it's like, you have to have the manpower to make these projects, and man and woman power. Let me make that clear. And when you don't, it's hard, and that's to me the biggest lesson, is like, I don't want to do that again, where you don't have, the luxury of an ample oversight of what you're doing.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's awesome. So, all right, kind of a off the wall question. I just thought about it. So there have been so many movies that have been delayed, like No Time to Die, the Bond film, Tenet, a whole bunch of other stuff, Black Widow. What do you think the future of movies is going to be? I saw that Tenet might release in 2021, where they release it on like one continent and then the next continent, and they do it like a staggered release. Do you think this whole pandemic thing is going to like change how movies are released? Are they going to go straight to like Netflix or wherever? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it already has changed how things are being released. And I mean, if it was up to me, I would hope that, in the next year, if we can, hopefully get a vaccine, or even if we don't, get better treatments and stabilize, the situation, my hope would be that, we could all return to theaters, and that, in throngs, we would go to theaters and watch movies. But really the biggest problem isn't even so much, in my opinion, isn't so much the pandemic. It's more the fact that movie theaters have been losing out for years. It's only major Marvel movies, and Bond films that are really raking in the cash. And it's like, you ask people, do you like going to movies? They say, yeah. And then you ask, well, how often you go? And they're like, oh, well, 2 or 3 times a year. That's not enough, to keep the theaters going. And it's been on a decline for nearly 15 years. And now you add in a pandemic, and now it's not even particularly safe to go, or it may not be for months, if not years. It's, to me, the writing's on the wall that, the theatrical experience as we know it probably is going to pretty much start fading away over the next couple of years, if not sooner. And that breaks my heart, because I love going to the theaters. I want my movies to show in theaters. I've had the opportunity to show my movie at theaters before, not in wide release, but I think the writing's on the wall. Netflix is so accessible, Amazon Prime, Disney, like all these platforms, and the studios are already anchored into those platforms. So, I think the studios are going to have to really cut back on their budgets, because there's only so much return you can get when you throw it out there like that. on VOD, but yeah, I don't want to say unfortunately, but I think the future of movies is streaming. I think it's just what people expect and want and can afford. That's another thing too. Movie tickets are just so expensive. To take a family of 4, it would cost you like $85. So it's like, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But that would be my prediction, is that we are very much over the next several years primarily going to see VOD taking over the marketplace. I still think movie theaters will exist. I still think you'll go to major cities and there'll be 1 or 2 there that you'll get to go maybe see a bigger release, that's simultaneously on VOD or releasing on VOD 2 weeks later. But yeah, that's my long prediction.
I like it. That makes sense. I mean, watching them at home is super convenient, but going to the theater is like, it's an experience. You can buy your candy. I know it. Just the picture's so large, the sound, you feel like you're in there. It's an experience. I hope it stays around a lot longer. Do you think this will make studios kind of cut back on making stupid movies like the Ninja Turtle movies that have like these huge budgets but they might have like a $300 million budget, but they gross like 70 million? You think that's going to be a thing?
They're, once again, in my opinion, they're going to have to cut back on the cost. Now, will they be smart or stupid movies? That's yet to be seen. I hope smart. I hope they'll pick up more stuff like what I'm trying to do and my colleagues are trying to do. But, studios, like I said, the theatrical has been flailing for a while, and like studios had to anchor into these pre-known intellectual properties like Marvel and stuff, and it's like, and so that actually might really change with the VOD sense, because it's like now you can push out to more audiences quicker and more specifically, But yeah, I do think, these massive budgets, they're going to have to come down,
they've got to change somehow.
And I may be wrong, but I think they really will, because it's like, you're losing a market. You're losing that theatrical where people go and pay, and then they pay again on VOD. You're only doing the VOD, so. Yeah. But
it's crazy times, man. Hopefully both can kind of coexist in the future. We'll see.
That's my hope, but I think we'd be foolish to think that theaters, as we have grown up with them and know them, will continue to operate in the 2020s.
Yeah, I know exactly. That's true. Have you been to one of those theaters that we have one over in Destin where you like order food and it's like a restaurant / it's like a whole dining experience, and it's so fun. It's great. Yeah. A little expensive because you're ordering food at a movie theater, so ching ching. But it's pretty great. Yeah,
no, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, my producer Elise Rosenfield, she actually we did a screening at one for Night and Today back in January for an audience of about 100 people. So it was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, cool. Yeah. Jealous. All right, so Night and Today on Amazon Prime. Everybody go watch it, right? Everybody go watch it. It's phenomenal. It's so good. Your best movie yet.
Yeah,
hope everybody goes and watches it.
Watch, rate, review on both Amazon and IMDb if you can, and share with your friends. And thank you for the interest.
Dude, absolutely, man. Well, oh gosh, I just whacked the mic. Well, I'm so excited, man. I can't wait for your next movie. It's going to be great. Really? What are your next plans?
We've got a movie slated called The Red Door, and it's just like this little psychological thriller about this young mother who sleepwalks and is starting to have trouble figuring out what reality is. So,
okay, I like it.
It's going to kind of be like this, a little bit like The Sixth Sense meets The Shining. Not as violent as either of those movies, but
that's good.
It's going to be kind of in that range. So we're already. We're very quickly moving forward with it. We're just kind of waiting to see what the pandemic's going to, how much of a roadblock that's going to be in the next year and a half or so to get it made.
Well, I hope you share some of your sleepwalking stories in that movie, because they are phenomenal and they are hilarious.
I actually didn't write this one. My colleague Jordan D. Crabtree did. But yes, when he was writing it, I kept talking to him about my experiences, and one of the very specific ones did make it into the script, so it'll be good.
Was it the mailman one?
No, I'm not going to tell you which one. You'll have to wait till about 2022 and watch it. So.
Deal. The mailman was my favorite. We're at a state park with Matthew, and it's 2:00 in the morning. We're in a tent, and you wake up. Ben Hall. I'm like, Ben, what is it? Guys, the mailman's here. Ben, we're at a state park on a Saturday at 2 a.m. The mailman's not here. Okay. It was the best.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
All right, man. Well, thanks for hopping on the Monday show with us. This was great catching up with you and see what your movie's up to. Allie and I will go watch it again because it's great. We'll watch it. We'll tell all of our friends and family to watch it.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Hey, you are always welcome, man.
and just remind everyone that you can follow the film on Instagram at Night, NIGHTNIN, and the number 2 day, DAY.
Night into day. Sweet, man. All right. Well, we'll try to link. I'm pretty sure we can do this. We'll try to link the video on Amazon in the description of this show and the podcast and see how that goes, and your Instagram. So cool, man. Great. All right. Well, take care. Have fun in California.
Thank you. All right. See you later.
Later.